welcome back to another edition of The Morning View.
The awards are starting to rack up. I can get used to this. Buying Premier League quality has taken us to having a player of the month. Now, normally this is just always Bruno at some point. It very, very rarely is somebody else. But Bryan Mbeumo is the player of the month. A lot of scrutiny on Man United, of course. £62.5 million, £65 million, whatever, rising to add-ons of 70, whatever you want to dress it up as. Oh, look at them getting players from Brentford. Oh, look at them. Player of the month. The big question is Ruben Amorim to follow? Is Ruben going to win player of the month? Because let's have it right. In the month of October, he won all his games. He got 3 on the spin, mate. Do you know what I mean? One of them was a big scalp at Anfield, somewhere we haven't won in 9 years. Obviously, you got Arteta in that as well. You know what I mean? They keep winning, won't even concede a goal. So it's a tough ask, but some would say that's normal. What's not normal for Man United over the last sort of month, all the scrutiny, everyone's being really loud on Ruben. He's been getting sort of dug out in the media and there's so much scrutiny. If he gets it right for the month, got to give him his accolades. So hopefully Ruben gets manager of the month and it's a clean sweep for Man United. But I'm very pleased for Bryan Mbeumo. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've got loads to talk about, man. Of course, we're going to talk about whether Amorim's going to be next. We're going to talk about Bryan Mbeumo because I think it's been absolutely brilliant. Jason Wilcox as well. Obviously, they've got the new Inside Carrington podcast. I was listening to his segment of that, which was really interesting. I want to see what people have to say, what they're thinking about that in general, with that sort of open. He's been talking quite a bit, hasn't he? That's clearly a ploy, clearly a deliberate, vehicle of message to help the fans, help us understand what's going on. I want to talk to you guys about that as well. So much to get into. And the situation that we touched on it yesterday in the Flex and KG show, but we'll do a little bit more on it today about what's on the menu. What's on the menu at Man United transfer-wise? Because Andy Mitten is sort of saying that wing-backs ain't on it. And I think that's a concern. But midfielders obviously are, and the centre-back. So much to get into, Owen.
Yes, so much to get into. Good morning, folks. Welcome to The Morning View. If you haven't already, click the like button. Let us know where you're watching from, as per usual, and what the weather is like now that we're getting well into the winter months.
And it's mild, though.
Come and gone.
I understand it.
It is quite mild. I loved it. I loved it. This morning,
bro.
I woke up. I get woken up in the middle of the night by the young pup to tell me I need to go. I need to go outside to do the business. And I'm like, okay. And you never know what you're going to be greeted by this time of year. Sometimes the other night, Flex, I flung open the door. It was like something from Stranger Things. As soon as I opened the door, lightning, and it was raining. I went, good grief. But this morning, it was, like you said, it was lovely. It was mild. And like you said in your intro as well, you spoke about the new normal in Manchester United, winning awards. You said Bryan Mbeumo, player of the month for October. Maybe Ruben Amorim, manager of the month for October. Maybe Manchester United winning games as well, climbing up the league. That is the new normal. And actually, you know what? When it comes to the new normal, you want to have, a normal sort of health regime, don't you, Flex? Yeah? You want to feel normal. You want to feel better than normal. And you can.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. 2 of our own. OWEN lost over 100 pounds in 10 months and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Yes, let's get to work indeed. You can scan that QR code right there. You can click the link in the video chat somewhere around.
Somewhere underneath us.
Somewhere. You can use the code UV. You can subscribe. You can save up to 70% off. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals. I haven't been able to actually show the bottles recently.
Don't you worry about that, Owen.
Sometimes I've been doing, extra, which is Wrigley's, and sometimes I've been going
very seriously.
I've just been going superimpose the bottle in there, but it's there, which is good for your weight loss goals, and you can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep. Yes, it's a brand new and improved formula, and you can upgrade, optimize, if you will, your health goals today. Yes, big up to Oxford Natural by Gowan Life. Fleck, we do have a lot to talk about this morning.
Yes, there's a lot,
as you mentioned. There is. Brian Mbeumo seemingly has won the Premier League Player of the Month for October. You can see right there on the screen. This is when I'm not very well versed in all of this, but this is related to EAFC, is it not?
Yes,
that's an EAFC card, and that's how you usually find out who the winner is, because the card comes out a little bit earlier, and that's kind of the giveaway. So probably either today or tomorrow we're going to get, Mbeumo picks with the holding the award. The question is he going to be standing next to Ruben Amorim? Because Ruben Amorim has also been nominated, of course, for the October Manager of the Month position. And this was something I mentioned when the nominations came out last week, Flex, that if a Man United player or coach is nominated for the Premier League Player or Manager of the Month, they've won. Because it goes to a public vote, regardless of whether they deserve it or not, which in this case, Brian Mbeumo, I think, absolutely deserves it. Ruben Amorim, obviously, I know that you can make an argument for, I think, at least 2 or 3 of the people that are nominated with the manager ones. Obviously, you can say Amorim won every game. The turnaround from where it was previously, that's impressive. Mikel Arteta, he won every game, didn't concede a goal. Pretty impressive. but then you have to take into account, the opponents and what have you, and who the other ones, like Andoni Iraola, look what he's doing with Bournemouth, not bad.
Sunderland,
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because once it goes to the public vote, we're effing massive. So it doesn't matter in that regard. But it's good.
We're also very hated, though.
It's good. Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
All the
matter.
Arsenal
The
fans,
positivity.
plus the Liverpool fans voting for Arsenal, plus the Man City fans voting for Arsenal. Nah, they probably won't vote.
Don't care. Don't care, mate. Don't care, mate. Look. Where's the haters? Yeah? He's got his award. He's got his awards. So I think, this one will be tighter. I'm less. With the Mbeumo one, I was confident he was going to win. I was like, I'm confident he's going to win that. The Amorim one, that will be tight. Because
everyone
tighter.
Everyone is waxing lyrical about how well Arsenal are doing, how strong they are, how many goals they've conceded. None. You know what I mean? Just quickly, TikTok Owen is out of sync. I've refreshed because I thought it was me. I thought it was a Flecknology thing, but
am I out of sync?
You are out of sync, yeah. But I thought Flex, be quiet, because it definitely won't be Owen. It will be you.
I'll fix this.
Yes, perfect. But just on Mbeumo, this is the Player of the Month. Yeah, I'm so glad he got it. Because look, the accolades outside of the club is almost like, listen, we don't care. We just care about what's going on inside. We don't need everyone else to love our players and this, that, and the other. But it's so nice to see him get the plaudits for outside of the club, because we've been watching him every week and been so impressed. Even in the games where he hasn't scored, even in the games where we've lost heavily, he's still been sort of the brightest spark at times. And it's just so refreshing to watch him. He just doesn't have this base level of play that he goes below. You know what I mean? Physically, you can't really shake him off the ball. He makes good decisions on the ball. Isn't always to go past someone or to cross. He evaluates the situation really well. If he sees there's an overload, or he sees he can't get past that player, he just keep the ball. He doesn't just turn it over all the time. The times where he does, he's not selfish. He will set players in, or give Ahmad on the overlap, or can combine really well with him, make passes in field. And of course, what I love is how transferable his skills have been, because there was that little question mark, not really much from us, but maybe the wider community and the media sort of saying, well, Mbeumo's a right winger. How's, you're making him an inside 10. but I just think he slotted in seamlessly. I had no qualms that he could make that adjustment from like a right winger to this right 10, what we play. And as you can see, what I will say about our right 10s, definitely, especially the right-sided ones, they do have that license to basically be sort of wingers as well. And it's really weird how they don't. That is one good thing I do like about the system, I'll be honest, is that Ahmad and Mbeumo are essentially the same player, like in terms of just traditionally right wingers, left footers want to cut in, got a good shot on that. But they don't get in each other's way. Like Mbeumo's okay to be in that sort of inside right channel. And then there's times where Ahmad will go into that inside right channel. And if there's a breakaway, Mbeumo will run back and cover. Or you know, Ahmad's out there on the right wing when he gets the ball in the final third, and he's essentially what he's always been, which is a winger. And Mbeumo's just inside him, and then he might go on the overlap, but he's just causing chaos. And Mbeumo's just, I don't want to say unstoppable, probably a bit too strong, but when he plays, I just feel so secure that like you ain't getting the ball of him. Like he's gonna take a good touch, you know, plucking out the sky, winning fouls, just everything.
Yeah, no, I mentioned before with Mbeumo, I do think that this season he'll probably go down as our best signing. I think in the Premier League he'll probably go down as one of the best signings. Once the season comes to a close and they reevaluate some of those things that they were saying about the Manchester United transfer window and how terrible it was. Remember, second worst in the league it was meant to be. Worse than West Ham's.
Oh, it's worse now, Owen. I think you've adjusted it the other way. It's even more.
I'll refresh.
Yes. He's going to refresh. He's going to refresh. Owen, who would have thought? Owenology, guys. Owenology. Can we all just take a second? Can we just take a second here to realize what's happened? Owen's system, Owen's technology, his flechnology has failed him. It sounded like he was so late, bro. It sounded like he was talking on a show yesterday. That's how long ago it was. Do you know what I mean? So, when he gets back in, I want full accountability. Questions asked. Here he is. That's what I need from you guys. There you go. I've got to come out now so that he can come back in. 1 second. Owen, could you just merge us?
I just, I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
What's that? What's that?
I thought I heard some things you were saying. I just thought.
Just people saying churchology. I thought I was. Yeah, Court says I thought I was watching a dubbed martial arts film. Oh,
do you know what it was? I'll hold my hands up. Yeah, I'll be.
I like that. Accountability is what we're all about.
Do you know what it was? I was trying to be too clever. I was trying to do improvements in what it was.
That's good though.
I've been recently watching some videos about improving. I wanted to have a more crisp mic sound.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And I was trying I tried something a little bit different. So the sound was going through my OBS. Go back to what it was before. No problem. No problem.
That's fine. Owen, we're not mad at you for trying to upregulate. Not mad,
and also the thing I did try and fix actually, because this was always listening. When there's matches and I celebrate and I scream really loudly, my mic cuts out. So I was trying to fix that, and I think I have. Put
some limiters on there.
Even with this, through my soundboard this is very boring. Through the soundboards, I turned the noise gate down a little bit. So hopefully now, if I was ready, Flex, if I'm going to celebrate a goal, does this cut out? Okay. And Mbeumo, ball in. Shesh go. Yes! Did it cut out?
No, it didn't. Where's the old noise gate? But don't you add that noise gate to the OBS anyway? You know when you add the things onto it.
Fixed it.
Good.
Fixed it. So I fixed that.
Yeah.
And then I got a little bit too carried away, and I thought let's take this to another level. And then I turned.
Because you can do the offset delay thing, innit? There's that thing.
I was trying a bit too much. I was trying a little bit too much.
Owen, all is forgiven because you've upregulated, trying to improve.
It's not forgiven. It's not good enough, Flex. I tell you what, it's not good enough. Standards in the mud.
Instead, you downregulated. Actually, some super chats here. Actually, Avidor says Flex calls himself Jesus Christ on Flex occasion. He showed what the F long show yesterday. you get roped into things when KG's about. But cut a long story short, it was back to that reverse judge. I was explaining to KG that I explained to you guys, the community, that I'm never doing it again. Yeah, dangerous game. Aminor says that, and KG enrolled into Scholar School. Hashtag especially. Yeah, he's I don't know if you saw her, and he's gone to Scholar School. He wants to learn all words and say all like field tilt and
learn
like
words.
He's doing I said to him, I don't know why you're doing that. And then he got angry at the people that are using XG to say it was good. So I was like, but you're in the scholars, you're in that. That's what you do. So yeah, he's on Scholar School. He's doing that at the minute. That's what's new.
Positivity.
Correct.
That's what it's all about.
Yep. Fleck Hall of Shame performance in DR Halloween. Absolutely. I
was also distracted by this earlier on in the show because I saw that super chat come in and I thought, oh, let's have a look at it. What, you freaked out?
Yeah, obviously, of course.
Yeah, you're not
none of that. I'm not. I don't hide it. I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm not, ashamed of it. Couldn't care less, mate. That's
Flex
what I'm on.
Scared by bugs and stuff like that, don't you?
100%. It's not my remit, mate. Not my remit at all. And Matisse is the opposite. He's the guy that could go on I'm a Celebrity and it'd be boring to put him in the Bush Tucker trials because he's not scared of anything. He's, what's this? Really? I'll even hold it for even longer. Well, that's lovely. Oh, what's this? He's not scared of anything. So fair play to him.
Well, actually, let's have a look then because I haven't seen this. I haven't seen your performance, Flex, with this. So we can have a look, can we?
Yeah.
We'll have a quick peek.
Look, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all there. Yeah. Make sure I got this.
And obviously, I don't know that is that.
His own time.
Although it's not riveting.
Whenever
so
is it?
It's not riveting.
Maybe it's not for
Is it a fish?
No.
No, that's like
Disgusting.
goo, like Play-Doh goo. But you don't know that it's that.
It's us. I reckon it's like a.
I think I got it right. I'll be disappointed if I get this wrong.
What's
piss off, Ryan, man.
I don't want to touch it. It's in my head. I just don't know. I just think there's a spider in there or something.
Come on, man.
I thought you were a bad man.
Do it.
I'm not.
But when you watch it like this, when you actually see what's in it, it's just ridiculous.
I can't do it. Your fingers in the box.
Nah. That weren't the first one as well. The first one I did touch it because you don't know what it is.
You can.
Go back.
I can't.
You can. Do it.
I actually can't put my hand in there.
Come on, man. Come on before the thing starts coming out.
How quick?
He's done.
My head's cooked. I can't do it.
Touch it. Come on.
Give me the next one,
Stop
man.
trying to hold the belt.
Go on. You got
We hold the box. We hold the box.
Hold the box, but don't
I
do
can't
it.
do it, bro. I can't do it.
He's not going to get it right.
Come on.
I can't do it, man.
You can. You can do it.
He's going to do the chili. Hey, stop.
Don't do that.
That's
Jump
my
out.
hand. That's my hand.
I need man to close to the box. Why don't they get the thing right?
I put my hand down. I put my hand down.
You feel what it was?
No, it was. I felt the side of a container.
Hey,
So
production, I need someone stand in, man. 2 people close to the box right now.
No, I
See
can't
what's
see
going on.
anything. I'm trying to hold it. He's going to dash his box off the table.
hurry up, mate.
Man, this is
Yeah, how long's the video?
There you go. There you go. No, it was wet.
No, I'll do that, and I'll guess.
I'm
That's
proud
it.
of you.
That's it.
Not on it, bro. Mental
No,
gymnastics. Not on it. Nah. Not on it, mate. Don't like it. Because I know they know how much I hate spiders. So I'm thinking the worst of every single thing. You feel so stupid when you come around and you see what's actually on the plate. It just shows you how powerful the mind is. But I'm like, I know they're also like capable of like just putting this. Remember last year? Last year they flipping. They actually bought real life things. So I'm like, nothing's off limits here. They could just really just put a snake in there, and I'm just gonna put my hand in. Like, nah, I don't care, mate. I don't give a crap. No.
Yeah, but they wouldn't bring in a spider or a snake that's gonna bite.
They would, bro. Well, no. That's not that's gonna bite.
Into DR, headquarters. They're not gonna do that, are they?
I don't care, man. Nah,
and this is someone I'm definitely afraid of spiders. Can't be doing with them. Can't be doing with snakes. I'm kind of the same with you when it comes to like bugs in general. Yeah, because like they used to do it at school, didn't they? Occasionally, randomly they'd bring in like someone would come in with a load of animals and they'd be like, "Oh, you can pet a snake or you can pet a spider." Or sometimes they bring a bird with them. And then they'd be like, right, someone stand at the back of the classroom. We're going to have this bird go and fly on someone's shoulder. And then some girl stood at the back and the bird went over and then poodled down her shoulder. Oh. And she got, really badly teased for the rest of
that's what I'm
secondary
saying,
school
bro.
because of that. Because she got pooed on by a bird. And, those are the risks you take.
So it's good luck, that. It's supposed to be good luck.
Oh, I hate when people say that. Oh, it's good luck, that. I'm covered in
definitely
shit.
Not. It's definitely not. But yeah, so that's
what are we talking about?
Well, you just went off and looked at that. It was because of this.
It was show. It was show's fault.
Tavra says, as Mace once says, welcome back, Flex. 100%. I am back.
Yeah, welcome back.
And Terence Pace says, Mbeumo and maybe Amorim winning their respective awards show there is some change for the better. And yes, I was one who gave up on Amorim, but it's good to be mistaken if there is change for the better. 100% agree with that. 100%. But what we were talking about obviously was the back end of Mbeumo winning that, and would Amorim be next? You know what I mean? Yeah, could Amorim be next?
Yes.
I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah,
I'm going to say yes. Like you say, I think maybe, like you said, once it gets to the public vote, we'll outpower everyone. And Arsenal winning is not a new thing. Arsenal with the great defence is not a new thing. Mm-hmm. And we had a harder set of fixtures in that October, didn't we? I would say.
And also, who will it mean more to? It will mean more to Ruben Amorim than it will to Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, he's probably.
You know what I mean? Arsenal won't really get anything out of that. You know what I mean?
No.
They'll go, all right, they've got to get an award. Okay, cool. But when it comes to if Amorim wins it and United, that will mean something to us in terms of momentum, build upon that. Oh, actually, things aren't as bad as we think, and this, that, and the other. So. Yeah, I think that'll be good. The pictures will do good on socials. Ruben and his team, a bit like when Ten Hag won them, he'd have the whole team there and what have you. That'll be good for us, certainly. Yeah. So here's hoping that he wins it.
No, I agree, and then we can just gloat for no reason, and be like, we're winning trophies. Come on, let's
not for no
positive
reason.
now.
For good reason. For
real reason. Exactly.
For real reason.
For good reason, bro.
Yeah. These aren't pity awards. You got to put points down. Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
On a little, just on this day, on this day, 39 years ago, Sir Alex Ferguson was appointed as Manchester United manager. 13 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues, 5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 1 Club World Cup, 1 Super Cup, 10 Community Shields, 1 Cup Winners' Cup.
Do you know what's amazing with that picture as well of him standing there at Old Trafford? It's the shape of that Old Trafford's in at the time where he's standing there. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of like unrecognisable, isn't it?
I know, it's completely different.
Behind him and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty remarkable,
crazy,
to say the least, isn't it? Yeah. Very, very remarkable. Yes.
It is great.
And speaking of the future flex, Jason Wilcox, Manchester United's director of football. He's been doing a few interviews, hasn't he, recently? And as you mentioned, he did the Inside Carrington podcast. I watched it. I know you did as well. It was quite an interesting watch. Actually.
It was, I thought.
And he had some interesting things to say. Interesting to note that everyone else had their day off, and he came in. He went, oh, no, came in to do this interview.
Yeah.
He said, oh, thank you very much. So he had some interesting things to say. He says, all we're doing now is making sure that we make decisions for the football club, not for the benefit, not for the short-term protection of ourselves. We're making some really bold decisions for the future of Manchester United, basically implying, look, we could do some things that maybe help us in the short term and protect us in the short term, but this isn't about us. It's about the club. It's about building us back to where we need to be going. This is kind of what he expands upon here. He says, Man United is bigger than any player, any manager, any staff member. We're custodians, if you like, and we've got to make sure that at some point our journey will end, inevitably, and we need to make sure that this football club, when we leave this football club, whenever that is, I hope I'm here for a long, long time, but at some point the journey's going to come to an end, that this football club is in a much better position, and I really feel now this football club is moving in the right direction. That's my own personal view. That's not a biased view of because I'm working here. I look at every department, and I'm going to talk about the sporting department only because it's unfair for me to talk about any other departments. But when I think about the sporting department, we are making progress in every area, every single area. Now, it continues on by saying, in every single area we're making progress, and the fans have been a huge contributor to making sure we can make the right decisions, and ultimately our plan, our idea is for us to get back winning for them. They're a huge part of this football club. Part of the history is one thing, but the fans, the generations that come to Old Trafford is something special. You can't begin to explain it. It's very, very special. He then opened up interestingly about the transfer windows and kind of a bit of a compare and contrast to last year's and this year's. He says last year's summer window, 2024, was a lot more chaotic than this one, and this one was really calm. With this one, we knew the plan, we knew which players we were going to target, we had our lists, we knew which areas of the pitch we needed to improve. These are continuous meetings with myself and Ruben, with Chris Vival, with his team underneath, where we are very clear on the profiles that we need. So the brief will come from myself and Ruben. It goes into Chris. There is a lot of debate and discussions around the profiles that we need, and then the scouts will go into the market. We will combine that with the data team, and then there will be just a constant dialogue. Now, as you mentioned there, Flex, I thought that was really interesting because I was trying to think. I was thinking that's probably one of the most detailed explanations we've probably ever really got about what the recruitment process looks like at Manchester United, and actually the different departments, what they do, how it all sort of flows together, what the sort of workflow looks like with that. And I thought it was interesting that he's like, well, Ruben sets the brief, but also I'm involved in that. I set the brief, and then basically we then chat to Christopher Vival, director of recruitment, and his team, and go, right, how is, you know, who would you recommend? How does this look like? What do you think about this? And they go, okay, we think about this, we're doing this. And they go to the data team. Have you got any suggestions? Have you got anything you can add into that? Is there any reason we shouldn't go for this player? We should go for this player. All right, cool. And sometimes I think as fans, we forget about that, don't we? We just think, Football Manager-esque, I want to sign Brian Mbeumo. We should sign Brian Mbeumo. All right, let's go get Brian Mbeumo. And it doesn't really work like that, basically, is what he's saying. You know what I mean? It's a far more nuanced process, I think.
Yeah, and there was a bit where he even said that, you know, we do extensive paraphrasing, like the background checks on their professionalism, like sort of off the pitch as well. Now, I know that's not rocket science. That's not anything new. But the emphasis on that for us, when we've had dressing room issues in the past, we've had issues where, you know, things have been called into sort of question. Right now, I'm having weekly meetings with Cypher.
Oh, yeah. He says, right now, I'm having weekly meetings with the recruitment team on the different profiles, the age bracket, the cost, are they attainable, with Ruben as well. So it's a really joined-up approach. When we sign a player, there are so many people that are involved in the process. Yes. The data team are involved in the process, and we will focus all of our attention on certain players. It is really important that we do the background checks on whether they are clean living professionals. This is really important. This year, we looked at Premier League-ready players, and certainly with Brian and Mateus, we couldn't take too much risk in this area. We needed players that could plug in and play with little transition time.
And that is exactly why they are performing how they are performing. Like, we can talk about tactics, we can talk about, you know, essentially someone like Cunha really suits that role as well, because that's where he's been playing in the last couple of seasons for Wolves, so that's seamless. You know, for Brian Mbeumo, playing in slightly different positions over the, how many years he's been in this league? 5 years, maybe? Ever since Brentford came out, that's for sure. You know, maybe from a right winger to a second striker to a two up top to a right 10 now. But that experience of them just playing in the league, forget all your tactics, forget the messaging from the manager and the different roles. That's just a cognitive thing. That's a tactical tweak, and I need to understand a position or my role in your team. But in terms of the physicality of the Premier League, the pace of it, the intensity, what it comes with, the pressure, these guys can do it. These guys can do it. And that's why I think is actually, people could say there's a lot of things that Jason Wilcox is saying. It's like, oh, yeah, obviously, or oh, so what? He's not saying anything. But actually, how long, and this is why I will give Ineos credit and that footballing department credit, how long have we been asking for some transparency, some like line of communication? Not every week. Yes, not every week you want to hear them talking after a loss, or, you know, it can get a little bit repetitive. You don't want overkill. But we've basically had such a bad line of communication when it was, you know, Richard Arnold and John Murtough, and obviously when Woodward was there. You know, what the hell was going on? Things didn't make sense. No one would come and be accountable. No one would talk about what's going on. Now, you're not expecting Jason Wilcox to come out and say really bad things about Ruben Amorim, or really bad things about the players they've signed, or scathing things about the departments. I get it. He's not going to come out and do that. But when you watch it, and I don't know if you have, but sometimes just reading quotes is a bit different. When you watch it, I did get the feel of like, Yeah, these guys have come in. And I think that when you look at the comparison to last summer window to this summer window, we can see it with the players that we've bought. We're talking about all 4 players being a hit so far, you know, and especially the 2 Premier League proven players. He also spoke about Sonny Lomans, where I think he said there's a guy called Chris Cotton, who put him onto him as a year before. We tracked him.
Goalkeeping person, yeah.
Yeah, he said, listen, he was put onto my radar a year ago. You know, they were saying that we really think there's an opportunity here. He can be a good keeper for us many, many years, this, that. So they've been looking to get him for the best part of a year, you know. So look, I think it's a good thing. I know people can be sort of skeptical of it and not sort of lap it all up. I'm not saying lap it all up, guys. Everything's perfect.
No.
I'm not saying that, but we do have to give credit because you can clearly see the difference in window this year versus last year. I can. Sure.
Yeah, I think also as well, I'm just sort of seeing, you know, obviously in the chat, Crunk King says, I hear it, but we have to have substance. Sounds good for now. He also says,
I think we have got a bit of substance. We can see it.
I believe in actions, not words, and all that kind of stuff. It's one of those ones where you sort of go,
We've
well,
done it.
what do you really want then, basically? Because, like you said, we either have no communication, and we're like, look at these guys. They won't even talk. They're always at, you know, cloak and dagger, not the hiding away. They do talk, and it's like, wow, I'll believe it when I see it. As you mentioned,
we have seen it though. They've got Cunha, they've got Mbeumo, and they're playing good.
Yeah, in terms of the summer transfer window, I think the summer transfer window, it wasn't. Extremes either way. I don't think, certainly not what those agents were saying. I don't think it was the second worst in the Premier League. I also think it wasn't a 10 out of 10, you know, because 10 out of 10 would be doing, you know, every single position, wouldn't it? Right? Every single position, and we'd be far and clear top of the league at the moment. So it's not going to be a 10 out of 10 window, but I thought it was a good window, particularly in comparison to recent windows that we've had in the past. And the way he's talking there is, of course, it's how a functioning football club should operate in terms of these different departments, and this is how it works. But I thought, you know, I'm happy with that level of communication. It's fine. And actually, he did also say about, you know, with the, you know, standards, whatever. He was asked about the Forest game, because it was recorded after the Forest game, and he said that Ruben and the team were actually really disappointed. They were like, we were not happy with a draw, basically. You know, we feel like we could have won the game, should have won the game. We're a bit frustrated with that. And it's about winning games. So it wasn't even, I don't think, a bit of a puff piece, if you will, where it's like, oh, everything's great here and we're doing fantastic and we're doing this, we're doing that. I just thought it was a good interview.
Exactly.
It's about the results on the pitch and about delivering outside of it. But I think, in fairness to him, a lot we've spoken about, haven't we? Wilcox going, how qualified are you for the job? What's your back? You know, what's your history? You know, are you really the right person for this? But unfortunately for him, he can only really go transfer window to transfer window. So we have to like have these sort of blocks of time where we just have to kind of wait and see how it plays out, don't we? You know, so the signings happen, and it's been proven, hasn't it, now that even what on paper can look to be a good transfer window. Look at Liverpool. That on paper was one of the best transfer windows ever, isn't it?
Exactly.
Now you watch them play and you go, fuck it, they need like 4 or 5 more players. They look a mess. So sometimes it's not just on paper; it's how does it actually play out throughout the season. And at the moment,
as it stands,
our
when
signings
people keep saying
played out
working.
Right so far.
When people keep saying, and this is where I've got to hold my hands up as well, 100%. Like when people keep saying we need to see results, we're 2 points of second after 10 games. So, like, the results actually, that's what I'm saying. So actually, really, all of us to this point, that doesn't mean we're going to go on and stay in that position all season. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean we're going to get European football. Like, it doesn't mean that. It just means thus far. Yeah, but 8th. I get that. We're 8th. But we're in touching distance of where you want to be. We're also level on points from 6th to 8th. All right, they've got better goal differences than us.
We were second during the Forest game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You can't.
It is,
and I do think
really
that if
tight.
we want that,
it's really tight.
And if we want that improvement, you can't say like they have to show us results. Well, since we've signed them guys, if you know this is where or whereabouts we expect to be. Really, all right. You want to be higher by number in the table, but if we were, then there'll be people saying, Yeah, well, we're 5th, but it's only a joint goal difference. Really, with 8th. You can't really win. And also, Jason Wilcox did say, he goes, I have the scrutiny of the club. If Man United were top, there would be people saying, yeah, but they should be top by 10 points instead of 6, or like it just keeps shifting, which is true. I hold my hands up with that. And he says that what we have to do is, not get too low when we lose and not get too high when we win. And that is the truth. That is the truth. And this season, I have been there. Obviously, the lowest of the lowest Grimsby. For me, the feeling of that was just too low. Do you know what I mean? But actually, yeah.
I spoke about this when you were away. That I like to, and I think this is like the healthiest way to do these things. From these different sort of eras in Manchester United, what did you learn? What would you change? What would you do differently from these eras? From the Ten Hag time, my biggest learning point with that was, I'm not going to get too attached to the idea of someone succeeding. Because I think if you go too all in with that, you then lose yourself. What's the phrase? You can't see the forest through the trees kind of scenario. You're so all in on that person working out. Erik ten Hag won Carabao Cup, got into the top 4. We're cooking now. And then even win the FA Cup, but then actually you realise it's not actually working out, is it? But you're so desperate for it to work out that you can't really admit it. So I learnt that, and I maybe took that a little bit too much over to this one with Ruben, with that because I'm like, no, I'm not getting attached. When it's not working out, I'm like, oh, all right, fine, it's not working out, then he can go, kind of thing. Whereas actually, the real learning point from this season so far should be that you do, like you say, can't get too carried away when you're losing games. We're in the lowest of the lows. So like the Europa League final did a number on me. That pissed me off. I had resentment to that. And like you said, the Grimsby one did a number on me. Absolutely. And then the reaction afterwards of, I might quit and all this kind of stuff, that did a number on me. But in reality, they are just a couple of games and you can't get too carried away. And then last week, in the 7 days leading up to the Forest game, because we won 3 games in a row, people would legitimately go in title charge. You go, well, that's just the complete other end of the spectrum, isn't it? That's getting too carried away as well. So
because KG said he changed back to Amorim because we went to second for a bit.
Yeah, well, and the reality is actually, isn't it, is just can't get too high, can't get too low. So in the same vein that, so we drew against Forest and that got turned into, this is why it's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. And you go, that's the point. We're still unbeaten. It's actually not too bad. The table right now, is so, because like, look at it. Like you said, we're 2 points off second. We're in 8th. Even someone like Aston Villa, they're 11th in the table. They're 4 points off second.
Yeah,
they could win a game. They could win a game and go up to 3rd, from 11th to 3rd. So I think what we're going to see,
you don't really know where you stand.
These teams, depending on what result you've got that weekend, you could be in potentially of, actually, are we sort of pushing for the title versus we're in the bottom half? You know what I mean? We're in the bottom half, and for us, and I put myself into this. That is a dangerous place to be in, because you can be so high and so low so quick. You know what I mean? Quick, because you can be second to being in the bottom half. So you can go from wow to this is awful. So I think we're going to have to try and regulate as best as we can, which is not easy. That is not easy.
And the real thing is, it becomes really hard to have the honest conversation then about the progress you are or aren't making. That's where it becomes difficult, because you're telling yourself, when you get like quite a few losses, and they're scathing losses, like the way we lost against Brentford, the way we lost against City, real bad ones, the way we lost against Grimsby. Or the manner of the performance, even for the 2-2. Like, they're really, really alarming. Really, really alarming. So they take you to a place of like, I've seen this before. I've seen this. Nothing's changing. But then, like you say, what we didn't expect was to go 3 on the bounce. No one expected that. 3 on the bounce, and then now unbeaten in the 4th game. So it takes it to like the last 8 or the last 7 games. The record looks really good. and I think we're just keeping pace with the other decent teams in the league, and that actually shows you where you're at. Because, like we said, innit, when it was all said and before we kicked the ball, when we were calm before the season even started, I'm saying, me personally, anyway, I'll say, right, I think like the ceiling is probably 6th. If we can, like, and that's a really good return.
Be in the conversation.
Exactly, be in the conversation. Then you say, but as the season goes, you just want to be within touching distance of the top 4, top 5. Just be within a couple of games of it, and we are, and we're in November, heading towards that. That not dreaded Christmas, but heading towards that statement. What's going on at Christmas?
Yeah,
and obviously it can all change. You go lose to Spurs, and you come out in the international break. You go lose to whoever else. I can't remember who we got, but it can all change. But there is a feeling though that it won't. There is for the first time in a while. I do feel I don't think we'll just get the catastrophic losses like in a row. It feels like we're turning that corner.
Well, you remember last season when we were talking about the European spots, and we go, the problem is just we're not even in those conversations. We were in our own separate conversation in that sort of 15th, 14th, 13th, 16th area.
Way off
like,
it.
well, we're just kind of going. We're just going in and around that, depending on what happens in the game. Like you said, the frustration I think now will be, let's say we get a negative result against Spurs, because it's so tight, potentially we could drop down quite low, and then we've got 2 weeks of being in that low position, which I think will be a lot of hyper-focusing on that. But that was what I wanted. Like, I want to just stay in conversation, keep up the pace, make sure you're within a couple of points of those European spots, and kind of go from there, which is where we're at the moment. So, yeah, that's definitely like my learning point from this season so far, which is not too high, not too low. If we do lose against Spurs, not the end of the world. If we do win against Spurs, again, it's not like a sign of, right, Arsenal, watch out.
No,
coming for you.
No, it wouldn't be that. But it would feel like, though, like again another revenge tour.
Put down momentum.
We haven't won there for ages.
It's like I said, it's difficult because we're now sort of asking ourselves to kind of regulate our emotions, which we're not. I'm not good at doing. But I think that's the right thing. And to circle back to what Wilcox was saying there, I think in terms of recruitment, I would say we're probably on the right path in terms of recruitment. It's very difficult to say, isn't it? It's very difficult to say because when you've had a season of 15th, you're kind of reluctant to say anything that you're on the right path, aren't you? Because you're like, well, let's build the path first before we even know if we're on the right one. Have we found it, kind of thing? So it's difficult. It's difficult to say. But like I said, I thought this summer's window, and I do think some of the discussions around Man United's business over the summer, I do think that was ridiculous. Like I said, the stuff about Šeško, he's shit, and you go, what? I don't really get that. With a lot of them, there's a lot of people in the Premier League had worse transfer windows than Man United, or signed worse players than Manchester United, and they haven't got half of that scrutiny. Yeah. So I think Ineos in the last window, I think they've done fine.
No, they have. And listen, just onto the Spurs game before we talk a little bit about some summer stuff. Like it is one of these games, isn't it, where I was saying to Owen the other day, see, like PJ says it there, they were a bit better versus Copenhagen. This one game a week, there's positives in terms of, okay, we're fresh going into all these games, a whole week of working towards one goal. You're not distracted by a game in the middle where you got to prep for that game and that team and a whole different load of instructions, different demands. So there are pros, but the cons are, look at the difference in mood, which can, listen, I'm not saying it should affect us, but Spurs were booed off the pitch against Chelsea, XG 0.0, and they were terrible. I watched the highlights and sort of got a grasp of what was going on afterwards.
Again, they were shocking.
So they were shocking. Couldn't create anything. And actually, a common theme of them, even though they're doing all right in the league, just like us, pointing in it, they don't create a lot. And at home, that home record that Ange sort of kicked off has been pretty much carried on in a weird way by Thomas Frank. It's really surreal what's going on, but they go from
Flex.
And it's
that home,
that
home record. It's like 4 wins or something like that. Yeah,
ish in the whole year.
Two of them against us.
Yeah, exactly. So, and these are the things that we have to think about, right? Because so they've got booed off the pitch. Van der Ven and Spence walking off. It's all in the news and all that. So then they win 4-0. Don't get me wrong, it's against Copenhagen. Van der Ven running through the whole team, shit defending.
Hey, You
right?
say that, Flex, man, but I remember with us Copenhagen, 1-0, and then I had to save a last-minute penalty for us to beat FC
Jesus
Copenhagen.
Christ. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. We still went out the league. We still went at group phase. But you know what I mean? It's against them, but still. So they win 4-0. And, you know, Thomas Frank's now coming out saying, I'll tell you what, mate, Mickey can walk past me every time if he performs like that. He's having a little joke about like the feeling going into the Man United game because they had a chance to change it. Meanwhile, obviously, we're still what we did on Saturday. So that, you know, is one thing. And secondly, it's weird because they're not great at home. They're not, but we just don't beat them. We really, like, I want to win this so bad. Like, we just owe them one so long. And I think we need keep having them statement wins. Obviously, the Anfield one was a massive statement win.
Yeah.
You tried to follow that up. Well, we did follow up with Brighton. You tried to follow up with back-to-back away wins. It would have been if we would have beat Forest. Obviously, that's a bit of a tough one. And it's just Spurs. It's just we could have it just raise us so much confidence-wise if we can beat them as well. But I don't know. I feel a bit. I think a draw. It just feels a bit drawish. But then we can definitely get at them because what pisses me off is in isolation. I go, come on, man. Come on, Spurs at home, they're terrible at home. They're stiff. They don't create chances. Come on. Put them to the sword. We create chances. Let's do it. But it just never plays out like that for us.
I think also, though, this is where you would say, actually, that is improvement from last season. Last season, you kind of knew what United was probably going to show up, particularly like away from home. You'd be like, we're probably not going to win. You know what I mean? They'll probably beat us, and that's what it is. Now, we are a bit like, well, I don't really know. We might show up. Because we could, like you said, you can't do what we did at Anfield and then be like, well, we're not going to win away from home now. We won at Anfield first time in a decade, you know, and beat Brighton at home. Well, we haven't been doing that recently. And as bad as we were second half against Forest, you should have won that game. You know, it's an Ahmad clearance off the line away from getting that result. Still hypothetical FC, of course. But I think we can go there and win. We can go there and win. It's just if Man United
we've always
show
been
up,
able to. In this whole time, we've always been able to go there and win.
Or play like we played against Liverpool, then we'll beat them. And we got players to go there and score goals and make the difference. It's just whether or not you're gonna get that, like when we played Brentford, when you just go, no, we're not at it today. We're just not at it. Or like second half against Fulham, or second half against Forest, where it just dropped off a little bit. But if they have the level of like intensity that we do against Liverpool away from home, then you go, right, okay, we got something there. And that's the key thing of having people like a Brian Mbeumo. I don't worry about Brian Mbeumo's level dropping. When he's playing against, I know he's going to show up at the weekend, no doubt he will. It's just maybe will those other players, you know, show up as well. But like you said, that would be a real big. And I know people go standards. What a big step beating Spurs. But our record's not good. You know what I mean? Our record's not good.
It's not. It's not good at a lot of these places.
Against Spurs, and also as well, it is that early kickoff on the Saturday, isn't it? I mean, your weekend hinges on it. Your weekend hinges on this because if it goes for you, if it goes for you, it's a good weekend, isn't it? You enjoy the 3 o'clocks, the evening football, Super Sunday. There's big games. Was it Liverpool City? I think it is. You enjoy that. You're like, it's gonna be a good watch. If you lose, wow, no football for me this weekend. Can't really watch anything.
Just lock off everything.
Yeah.
Let's
have a
just
good,
get away from
family
everything.
Weekend.
Anyone? And then it's 2 weeks. And then it's just 2 weeks off of it as well in the thing in the international break. So I just. You don't, and that's the thing. It feels too defeated. It's because of how Spurs are, and actually we're on the up, and like we've gone and won at Anfield. We're on a good run, even though we drew at Forest. It feels a bit flat to be like, I'll take a draw. It's not the worst. Just don't want to lose. I want the unbeaten run to continue. I don't want to be losing, especially against these again. You know, because I just think if we lost, it would just be something silly. I don't think they'll batter us. I don't think it's like that. Like it'd just be like Van der Ven from a corner or some shit, like free kick, or we weren't concentrating properly. Like the 2 goals we conceded against Forest. They're the sort of goals we've been conceding because that's one thing that hasn't left us. We did it against Brighton as well. 2 silly goals. Well, the free kick one, all right, cool. But the Xerxes one, he's cold. He's off the bench. He's not marking properly. You know, it's a silly goal to concede. Who else did we? You know, against Liverpool. What's the goal we conceded against Liverpool again?
Well, like you said, it's
the tap in.
Yeah,
like,
you look at actually our sort of goal difference in the league. I mean, we've scored 17, we've conceded 16. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. We don't get clean sheets,
We've
bro.
conceded a lot of goals. You look at even in Spurs, you're looking at them. They've scored the same amount of goals as us, 17. They've conceded only 8 goals this season.
See?
And
We're still
that's
conceding way too much.
And that's probably when you would go, actually, isn't it? You go, well, if you can just cut down the goals you're conceding a little bit, Man United,
Yeah.
then we'll be flying up the table even more. You know what I mean?
It's probably more important now because we've actually got Cunha and Mbeumo, Ahmad. We're doing all right. We can create chances now. I always feel like we'll score now. It feels like in this period, I feel we'll score. It's just, can you drop the goals conceded? That's why the Sunderland game was so important. Like the way we managed it, and even though it's a bit boring second half, good. Just get some clean sheets because we keep conceding all the time and silly soft goals.
A good keeper in there, because Lommans, I think we probably would have conceded a few more had he not been in there recently. No doubt about that. So I don't even necessarily think it's a goal. I think we concede chances, don't we? That's the problem. We'll concede chances, and that's not to say that good teams don't. You see Real Madrid against Liverpool on Tuesday. Look, Courtois kept him in the game. It could actually be 5-0, 6-0. So sometimes your goalkeeper does need to do a bit of a madness, or sometimes he needs to make big saves. But I think it's just we concede a lot of chances, don't we? Even second half against Forest, we conceded quite a few chances. We go, I tell you what, we're walking a bit of a fine line here. And I think maybe that's when at home you can get away with that more than away from home. If you concede quite a few chances away from home, crowd then gets up, momentum of the game shifts. And it's a bit like against Forest, then suddenly you go, I tell you what, we're proper backs against the wall here. What happened here?
Yeah.
Whereas at home,
changes. If
the opposition concedes, has a chance, our fans get up and we sort of wake up, snap out of it a little bit, and then, sturdy up.
That's why we got to manage games. We've got to manage games where this is it. We just won at Anfield. We proved we could do it, man. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we got this 1-1 at Anfield, bro. We was winning the game, went back to 1-1 at Anfield. That's hard. That's like, right, we all know what's happening here. They're going to score again. Like that's the traditional. So, I mean, and we
1-0 up from the first minute, pretty much to the 80th or something like that.
That's good game management.
Good, and then they score, and then we've got to go at the other end and score again.
Yeah,
but,
so we've proved we can do it.
But we did concede quite a few chances in that game.
Yeah, exactly, and they should have scored more.
That's the thing. I think it's more for me, just can we reduce those amount of chances that we're conceding? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that you're not going to cut them out or eradicate them completely. You're always going to have a bit of luck, where they do hit the post or the keeper makes a save, particularly away from home. It's inevitable. But we could probably cut down on those, silly chances that we give them. Whether that is just taking extra care on the ball or taking extra care in the midfield, or I don't know, or because sometimes we are our worst enemy, where I think back to that Liverpool game, it was one where we had a free kick, and I think, was it Bruno and Ahmad were going short to each other and then giving away, and it's a chance
to run back.
It's chances like that where you go, we didn't
stupid
need to concede
stuff.
That chance, we didn't need to concede that chance. But
I
don't know. There's nervousness, but I feel a bit optimistic going into the game, Flex. You know what I mean?
I'm optimistic we won't get beat. I'm optimistic we won't get beat. Definitely, and we just need to believe. Yeah, I think we just need to believe and just go for it. Right, there you go, guys. Big up to everyone being locked in on the morning show. If you haven't smashed the like on the video, make sure you guys do that on your way out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, man. Big up to each and every single one of you. We'll see you very, very soon, mate.
Trafford talk.
On the way. Yeah, Trafford talk this evening. James and Owen, make sure you lock in for that. Then, of course, press conference day. Trinity, etc. Before an early kickoff. I'll be at the game as well. I'll be with TalkSport for Game Day Live. So if you want to listen a little bit, have dual commentary, but also I'll be getting a reaction afterwards as well from the stadium. So yes,
I'll be
big day
with DJ, and we haven't lost yet with me and DJ on the match. I don't think. No, we haven't.
Fingers crossed.
No, we haven't.
Keep it up. Keep the up regulation up.
Yeah.
All right, people. Take care. We are out of here. Peace.